Well, welcome back to Houston Live. Now, our next guest travels the globe speaking to Fortune 500 companies, even law enforcement agencies, about what our body language is signaling to others.
She is also the author of 5 best-selling books. There is a 6th book on the way, we are told, for how body language can affect your romantic relationships, also how it can be used in business. Jan joins us now to help us understand how to read the people around us, even when they are not saying a word. Jan, it's been too long.
Been too long. Actions speak louder than words. Way too long. I'm glad to be here and teach some people some things about body language. And I heard your introduction earlier, but it is a good skill to have. That let's say you're in any conversation, and while you're in the conversation, someone does a little gesture, and you think in your mind, I know what that means. You may not address it then. Let's say if you're trying to see if maybe someone told you something, you know that it looks like they may be lying to you. I would not right away say, hey, I think you just lied to me. I would instead let them become more comfortable, let them keep talking, then I would ask that question again. And then if I ask it a second time and I still got a lying gesture that's associated with deception, I think, well, if you get it at least 3 times, you know that they're being deceptive with you.
Wow.
So it's kind of a good skill to have. I don't think about it every day, nor do I do it every day. Sometimes people will say, I don't know if I want to talk with you because I think you're reading me, but really, sometimes I forget about it, and I'm just having a normal conversation but if I need to use it, yes, I'm going to use it.
Well, absolutely, and you should. I mean, this is something you've been doing for a long time. You're the nation's leading behavioral authority. I mean, trial lawyers will hire you. How's working with law enforcement?
You know, that's my favorite thing now. I'm into crime, big time crime. So during the year, I worked on a big case in Boston last year. In fact, one of the same attorneys that worked on the Karen Reed trial was also working with us on that trial. So I got really invested in the Karen Reed trial because I knew her defense attorney too was Alan Jackson. But my thing is when I'm watching these people testify and they're being asked questions, I'm looking at their body language to see if they're being honest or being deceptive. So then what happened, I started working with crime scene investigators. They just called me and I started working with them, you know, where they study the blood splatter or they study fingerprints. So they know all of this, but they're often called to testify on the stand, witness stand, but they don't know the correct body language to use during their testimony. So that's kind of how I got into that.
Wow.
So then once I got into it, if I had to do it all over again, I think I would have started with crime. And NBC used to have a great show called Found, F-O-U-N-D. It's a great show. And then you have Dateline, so I'm addicted to those too. But on the show Found, it was, they were trying to see who had committed a crime. So maybe you'd have 3 detectives who would come in and 2 would ask questions, but one was solely to watch the nonverbals of the person being questioned.
Wow.
So that when the meeting was over, she'd say, well, you remember when you asked about this or this? Well, did you notice he did this and did this? So, I mean, I'm into that. So
Jan, you've always said, too, sorry to jump in, that sometimes what people are saying is less important than how they are saying it.
Right.
And you mean the body language that comes along with the words coming out of someone's mouth.
You know, the percentage is 55% of our communication is nonverbal, 55%. And that's why we've said actions, because people can say to you, I like you, but if they don't have the empathy and they don't have the feeling and the good eye contact in there, then there's no meaning to that. And you talked earlier about people who, you said, suppose a liar knows the gestures of honesty.
Right.
So the thing that happens is, you know, someone will go into the courtroom and they'll say, well, I know all these gestures that are associated with honesty, so I will do them. So what happens when they are in the courtroom, though, attorneys will wear them down. And we call it leakage. Their body eventually forgets what they ever learned, and their body language of deception will easily come out of them. So even just raising one left shoulder, I'd say, well, do you plan to be married to Brandon all of your life? You go, yeah. Then I'd know right then you were probably lying. Oh.
Because I'm shrugging?
Oh, my gosh.
One single shoulder shrug is associated with dishonesty.
Does it have to be on the left side?
It's usually the left side.
Why is that?
That is so strange.
Left-handed gestures are typically associated with dishonesty because the left hand is controlled from the right creative side of the brain. So when we tell a lie, it's coming from here, and this side of our brain controls this side of our body. So when someone's being deceptive, they may touch the nose, they may touch the eye with the left hand, though.
What if their nose itches,
my
Jan?
gosh.
Well, then you'd re-ask the question again and again.
Later.
And
take those mental notes. Like,
Right,
oh, okay.
every time.
We're into this show called The Traitors, and it's like, it's people who are planted in to kind of deceive and deceive and deceive.
The good guys and the bad guys,
okay.
and you have to figure out who's who.
Okay.
So their mask sometimes slips. Do you know what I mean? Like what you were saying.
The leakage.
Right. Like, so you mean with Lisa Rinna, when you talked about Lisa Rinna?
She had a tell.
Yeah. So like, even when I watched this week, the man, Banfield, I think his name is, and accused of murdering his wife, who he was having an affair with, an au pair, thing like that.
Yeah.
So when he was testifying on the witness stand and was saying that he had nothing to do, with the death of his wife, his body language, if you go back and look at it, you can look at it when he does his eyes. Too much flickering of the eyes would be one gesture. A deep swallow before they respond would be another. You can just tell it's not a genuine gesture. And then we have this thing in body language that we called mismatch. When someone's gestures don't match the words that come out of their mouth, then typically you get a gut feeling that I don't want to trust this person. So, example, if I would say, "I like you so much," that's a mismatch.
And I go, "No," but I'm nodding yes. It's like you're telling on yourself.
So it can get crazy. Can it get crazy?
It can. Okay, so stick around. Jan Hargrave, after the break, will walk us through some body language cues you might want to look out for in a romantic situation.
Okay, I like this because whether you're on a first date or maybe you're on your 20th date, in a long-term relationship, the physical cues to know, that's what we're going to go through when Houston Life returns. And I'm going to turn my back like this.
Maybe they're just not that into you. Maybe that's it, right?
Rude.
I love you. I love you.
Derrick.
Welcome back to Houston Life. We've been hanging out with our friend, body language expert Jan Hargrave, helping us understand what our bodies are communicating to the world. This is especially important in romantic relationships because we want to uncover the truth, see what signals maybe we're sending out inadvertently. This is also helpful, though, in business. Like, let's say you're trying to land a new client.
Right. Or go on a job interview. There are certain gestures from the way you shake someone's hand. It should be vertical, never this way because this is controlling, never this way because this is submissiveness. Handshakes have to be vertical. You have to give the person really good eye contact. You have to make sure that during a job interview that you don't do a lot of displacement gestures. Displacement gestures are gestures that are used that don't add any worth to your message. So someone who's always playing with the necklace, playing with an earring, someone who's always doing this, those are displacement gestures. Someone always fixing their clothing. The more of those that someone does, the less likely that they are confident. So when you want, and then just one last confidence gesture while we talk about job interviews, I always teach this, and this is a steeple. One of the biggest gestures of confidence is this right here, what I'm doing with my hands. Whether it's done here or here or here or here. Anytime you're going to see this formation with hands, it is always, always associated with a level of confidence.
Okay, I need to watch this back and take notes. Let's talk about romantic relationships because a lot of people are bad verbal communicators, but I found this really interesting. You say that most verbal cues, when you're on a date, women are more likely to give the first verbal cues?
Because women use their lips, they use their eyes, they use their hair, they use their hips.
Oh, wow.
When they're seeing someone. So women give out about 85% of the gestures of courtship, and women who give courtship gestures out usually get courtship gestures returned to them.
And they're more likely to look people in the eyes and the face and then the body. Men do the reverse. They're checking out the body first and then go to the eyes.
Yeah, okay, so women look at your face, your eyes, then the body, and they look at your shoes. That's in the first times they look at you, but men more so look at the body first and then the face
in a split
last.
second.
I am offended for whatever reason.
About 4 seconds it takes.
Okay, what about the don'ts? Like, what do women do if they're sorry. What should you do if you are into someone? Like, what are women
what are
doing?
some things that they should do? Well, flicking of the hair is an easy one to do. Taking your leg and always making sure that you're crossing towards your romantic partner.
Not away. Okay.
Another thing that you could do is taking your hands. See what I'm doing here with my hands? I'm just clasping them and I'm holding on to my upper cross knee. This is a gesture that says, I would like to hold on to you, but I'm going to look prim and proper and hold on to myself. Women, when they're really into another person, they typically drag their shoe down a little bit and then they start to kind of flip the shoe this way. I mean, shoes are a big part of dating. They're kind of sexy, the kind of shoe someone wears, and it's kind of like a thrust. It's never a fast kick, because a fast kick says, I'm impatient with you. It has to be kind of soft. Women will sometimes expose the wrist, and the way that they do it, they might do an imaginary yawn, looking like they're sleepy or dreamy.
What?
Isn't that a great one?
Whoa. Okay.
So now you can use this one.
What about signs that a woman is not into you?
Of course, she's going to probably keep her arms crossed. She's going to probably turn away from you. She's going to maybe take her left hand, touch her left eye, her left ear. She clenches her fists, because think of hands and fists like windows on a home. When the weather is nice, usually the windows are open and there's a breeze flowing through. When the weather is cloudy, the windows are closed. So when someone's comfortable and confident, there's spacing between their fingers when they're talking with you.
But you don't mean clenched fists like she's
Yes, I'm doing like, no, but she might be sitting there and her hands are all really tight and clenched.
Oh,
So she's pensive, she's tight, she doesn't want to have too much to do with you, she'll turn her body away from you. Some signs that men will do, because men are really interesting to watch for too. Men preen, of course, they fix their hair, and we do like that. Men arrange their ties, men arrange their cufflinks when or they pull their shirts down when they're interested in someone that they're wanting to date.
Accidental touches, like bumping your foot under the table. I mean, how do we know that's accidental, though?
Well, if I was sitting next to this sweet thing and I would maybe just kind of rub her leg underneath the table. Ooh. Maybe something's going on there.
Flirty peekaboos was also on the list.
Okay,
What's
this
that?
would be like I'd be looking at this book and I'd see you across the room, then I'd look at you, then I'd look back at the book, then I'd look back at you. See, it's called a sexual peekaboo. That was hard for me to even say.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Freeway of Love is just one of 5 books. And very quickly, because we're tight on time, signs that a guy would not be into you.
Well, one would be sitting in a slouch position because he really doesn't even care. One is turning a chair around and straddling it. You know what I'm saying? Turning a chair and straddling it.
Interesting.
One is maybe sitting with his hands behind his head this way. You know, his hands are clasped behind his head.
That one.
That is a gesture that says, I think I'm better than you are. It's reminiscent of a man sitting on his easy chair at home saying, I am the king of the castle.
Okay.
That is a big one.
Jan Hargrave,
Red
we never
flag.
have enough time with you. Thanks for spending 2 segments with us today on Houston Life. That is, again, one of your 5 books. A 6th is on the way. If you would like to connect with Jan and learn more about her work, visit our website, HoustonLife.tv, and look for that scene on Houston Life section. It's such an interesting conversation with Jan. Every time.
We can chat and chat. Okay.